Coordinated clap in 3, 2,
We didn't do that.
1. I was trying to get a bad coordinated clap again, damn it.
I'm not even gonna
Just 'cause
try
I
for
enjoy
that.
it.
I just
It's not like that's not an achievement. It's not like, oh man, did you hear us not clap together? We're the best at not clapping together.
I'm just gonna retire
Our
forever,
claps that don't go together are the best
Whoa.
of all the claps that don't go together.
having
That
never tried a
Creeper
coordinated
just
clap.
blew my brains out.
I'm lost some. Oh, okay. All right, I was getting water for the farm. I like how the pyramids keep showing up around.
Illuminati confirmed.
Rugs so soft it must be aliens. Rich's rugs.
That's man. How do we get marketing like that for our
I
product?
don't know.
I think Rich is just angling for a job.
I would.
Actually, he probably makes pretty good money. He's like an R&D guy somewhere. New Hampshire.
Doesn't mean he doesn't want to work with us, Tony. People like us. Ah! Stop that.
Podcast so good it must be aliens.
Yes.
No, see, that doesn't work.
Yeah, no. Oh, that's terrible. You're fired. Rich, you're in.
Tag me in,
Woo!
coach.
Oh, there's a dark cave over there.
This farm is not secure. I don't know why it would be, but I want to keep this line of birch trees going.
Never seen a secured farm.
What?
Did they get secured? Is that a thing that happens with farms?
In Minecraft, they do.
Oh, okay.
You don't want things coming in and blowing them up. Yeah, it's called barbed wire. What kind of question is that? You've never seen a secured farm.
That's not a real thing.
What?
Like worrying about stuff. Like, I mean, barbed wire keeps stuff in. It doesn't keep things out.
Does
Yeah, well,
both
it's secure.
simultaneously.
Correct.
Nah.
What? It's a one-way thing of barbed wire?
I'm saying, like,
Just-
anything that wants to come into an actual farm is probably smart enough to get through the barbed wire. The barbed wire is to keep the cows in. Like, coyote aren't going to stop because there's some barbed wire. They're going to be like, oh, wow. Guys, look at that barbed wire.
Yeah,
We
but
can't
it was
go through
also
there.
like to stop people
Like, it's a
from just
foot
like
across!
bringing their cattle across country through people's land and eating all their like grazing.
That's true. There was the
Fields.
whole sort of fight between the, you know, the cowman and the farmer can be friends.
Yep.
Kind of thing.
That's probably from a musical, but okay.
Yes, it is. That is. I'm saying it was based on an actual thing.
Yes, it is. Hence this. Yes. I don't know.
It's kind of what ended up killing the cowboy, really.
Barbed
Astroland?
wire.
Barbed wire? Me?
No, really, yeah, because people could like own land and say like you can't come through here, and the cattle drives needed to come through places.
Didn't they? How did they get the cattle to the slaughterhouse? To Chicago.
Trains, I guess, eventually.
Oh, that makes sense.
Damn it! You just blew up that same spot, you creeper. Ah, bitch.
Wow. Tony, feeling salty today.
I just
was
repaired
great.
that spot. I just repaired it.
That was wonderful.
It must be great to have to do work over again.
Yes.
Me and Joe had to do that this morning. We woke up and realized that, give me my dirt block back!
What's happening up there, boys?
A zombie took no, I'm down here. But we had recorded a whole, like 2 hours of Dwarf Fortress Let's Play, and resolution was wrong.
Yeah, hadn't done
It was just
Like,
like,
not to
on
the
a
point-
corner.
Yep.
What? Yeah, like it was missing like 2/3 or maybe like a third of the screen, and an important third of the screen. It wasn't like we could. I thought about saying like, we're zoomed in here, guys. You know, forgive us.
Would have been
But
ridiculous.
it actually wouldn't have.
That
There
would
was
not
stuff you were talking about that people couldn't see.
Yeah,
so-
we're missing a quarter of the screen. Yeah. I mean, I thought about doing that too, but yeah, I was like, that's not what we're doing here. And then, again, as far as, also, again, 5-second sample video, that would not have happened. I'm a dumbass. But, as far as mistakes went, that was actually a really good one. We wound up with much better content, I think.
I think so too.
I'm pretty psyched about that whole mountain next to a jungle thing. And I'm really psyched for my idea for the tavern. That's gonna be boss.
You keep bringing that up, and like, well, by the time this comes out, that Let's Play might actually be out because this is going to be 2 weeks in the future.
Well, I don't know if I want to tell you.
No, I'm saying like you brought it up, and I said, well, why are you bringing it up when they're not going to get to see it? But maybe they can.
Oh, I
Go
see
look at the
what you're
latest Dwarf Fortress Let's Play and see if Joe has built his tavern yet.
Yes, probably not. Because
Probably
we
not.
tend to derail into other things in that game.
I've been playing adventure mode, and that's interesting. There was a part where like So the most difficult thing in adventure mode is finding things and people.
Yes.
And I was looking for this guy who was an ocelot man, which is a thing that can happen in Dwarf Fortress Adventure mode. Or no, I'm sorry, no, it was not an ocelot man. It was a chinchilla man. And
What is a chinchilla exactly?
A
like a
chinchilla
fur
is
thing?
the softest rat ever.
Yeah. Okay.
They need
So-
like 500 of them together to make first letters.
I was trying to find this sort of beast thing to fight, because that's what you do. You go around and you sort of make a name for yourself. And people were like, I don't know where it is, but the Chinchilla Man, so-and-so knows where it is. And then so it asked for directions. There's all these things like, where is the Chinchilla Man? And they're like, well, he's the northeast of here in the mound or whatever. So I went to the north, and I, asked around in the mound, and I talked to the queen of that dwarf, which I guess they can have queens? I didn't even realize that. But I talked to the queen of that dwarf colony, and she's like, oh yeah, he should be around here somewhere. I went to like every single person in that room, nobody there. And I went to like the place west of there, and they're like, well, he should be in the mound east of here. I was like, I was just there. I went back, and they're like, he should be around here somewhere. Never showed up. Then I went off and fought a Cyclops.
That sounds like Dwarf Fortress already. I like when they, you actually said it, I think, by accident, but when they tell you to go find the person who you're looking for, because he'll know where the person you're looking for is.
Oh, do they?
Oh yeah, you said it by accident. You're like, oh, you should probably try and ask the Chinchilla Man. And you're like,
No,
well,
he was the one who knew where the monster was.
Oh,
the Chinchilla
I
Man
see.
was not the monster.
I see.
He was just the mayor or something.
No, it'll be like, oh, you should ask about where that Cyclops is the Cyclops. And you're like, you're a fucking dick. Stop that. You don't have to be mean about it if you don't know where they are. My life's important too.
Oh, so a little fish splash there. Oh no, was that a... Oh, that's dirt block bouncing. Okay, I got it. So you have gotten far enough into adventure mode to do that, because I've never
that
gotten a
was
clear idea of how much adventure mode you've done or how good of a grasp.
That was
you've
like the
gotten on
first
that.
thing I was in wherever I was. And again, I just have a hard time. I don't know. It didn't click for me the way the other one did. But yeah, and I was in a town, and I was like, all right, anything need to do it? And they're like, you should try and find this guy. I was like, all right, where do I find him? And they're like, well, ask the guy you're trying to find. I just was like, I don't want to stop this.
You can do
not
other
wrong.
stuff.
What?
You can do other stuff
I know,
in there.
yeah.
Like if you can't find something, you can be like, oh well, I guess I'll go try something else. Like the Cyclops I found, I just got like by wandering around and going towards the closest thing on the map to me. And then I was like, oh, here's a giant castle. Oh, here's a giant Cyclops in the castle. I got in my party, like, you ask, the first person you ask to join you, basically, I think, I don't know if it always joins you, but is, once you have a person in your party, you're less likely to get more at the beginning.
Right.
So I just started out in this room, and I asked this guy, I was like, hey, you want to join me? And he was like, oh, sure, I don't see why not. And then later I looked at his profession, and he's a drunk. Like, that's what he's like, Ernest McDrinkerson, drunk. In your party. Like, it'll be, the other options are like Swordsdorf or, Mayor or whatever, but no, there's a whole room full of drunks I just started my quest in. I guess that's a sort of byproduct of starting in the local tavern.
Oh my god.
You get a lot of people who enjoy drinking. I'm also stuck in this mountain range. Like, you can't fast travel through the mountains, so it looks like I'm in this really small area, and I think I can get out, but I have to walk, like, at regular speed through all of the mountains, and it just takes forever.
Yeah. Some games, just the way I think about problems, I just end up breaking the game, and it doesn't work. It's like Fallout. Well, actually, I've gotten really into Fallout, especially New Vegas, but Fallout 3, where I just did everything wrong somehow that you could in that game, but not in, like, a fun way. Because the initial quest is to find your dad, and they can send you off on, like, 3 other side quests. You're supposed to, like, play through those, and then, like, that leads you sort of close to your dad, and then you blah, 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 and eventually you find your dad, and that kicks off sort of the, the third act, if you will. Whereas I walked out of the bunker, I was like, I'm gonna go explore, and walked immediately to the place where my dad was, and then found him. And I was like, what just happened? Did I just... And then he started talking about a bunch of stuff I didn't know, and I was just like,
Yeah, you skipped
Sounds-
over like 12 quests to get that.
yes. It was...
Oh, so you just walked in a direction. I thought he was, like, right outside.
No, by blind luck, the first place, one of the places, like maybe the second place, I was like, oh, this is fun, open world, I'm gonna explore the map. Just happened to find the one little, like, bunker thing where he was. And, those worlds are gigantic.
Yeah, it's like 12 square miles for Fallout 3, I want to say.
Yeah.
And you just walk to that one spot.
Yep. Like I said, some games are it's just odd. The way I think about them doesn't work. I'm gonna put down. Oh, I was feeding sheep. That's what I was doing.
I always thought that they should actually have that locked, because you're not the first person to say that.
That's what I was thinking too. It's such an easy fix. Or at the very least, I mean, it's fine that you can
Put it on your map.
where what where
Would
he
be
is,
a good thing.
So you don't go there.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, you could still go there by accident if you just picked a random place on the map, but like not give the name of the town where he's at.
it wasn't named.
Oh, it was just sort of like some
None
random
of this.
place.
It was blind, random luck that I happened to go exploring and wander into the thing that he was in. But
Well, how would you patch that out?
You just
How are you
put
going
a,
to stop people from going there?
they
put a
do
lock
put
on the door.
unlockable doors on some things. So they could have done that, or it's fine that you can find them, but have them have some dialogue that's like, "What? You didn't go through downtown DC to get here, so
That
you
I
haven't
can
heard about
see.
like whatever."
Yeah.
Like that would be fine.
Did he say it in such a way that it was like you felt like you should know, or was it just?
No, he immediately started
all the
talking about like,
dialogue
"Oh,
trees.
so how is Doctor blah blah blah?" And I was like, "Who?
Okay.
What? Wait, what? Who?"
Okay.
Really weird.
I mean, I can see if he's like, man, the Raiders are really bad this time of year, and you haven't seen the Raiders. That would be not the team saying. Like,
They are, well, their defenses. They lost a
if
few
you
key
hadn't seen
players.
them, you might be like, well, what is he talking about? But if he's actually like conversing with you, like, oh yes,
the funny thing is
a
you
good-
have all those answers as well, so like whenever he's talking about that doctor person, you just pretend like you know him.
Oh, that's right, because you have to contribute to the dialogue, and yeah, I'm actually gonna look this up because I think it might be a chuckle.
that sounds really annoying.
It was, and I.
Doesn't sound like a problem with the way you think about games, Joe. I don't know where you went.
It's
like,
the
why you went
biggest
there with it.
example of just sort of somehow that
I
happens.
think about games wrong. Like, no, the game, you accidentally played it the wrong way one time, and that kind of ruined your experience.
That's
Oh,
just
maybe-
my favorite example. There are other things where I'm sort of like I'll want to do a problem my way. Yep. Okay. So to some degree, this game design. Dad dialogue. If they make you solve the problem the way they want you to solve the problem instead of just inviting you to solve the problem in some interesting way. Scribblenauts was a bad one too. Really wanted to like that game, but I don't know if you know that game.
I have it.
Yeah. Do you like it?
It's okay.
It's
It's frustrating as you go on. I just kind of gotten to the point where I just like spawning random things and see what they had.
yeah, that's neat and all, but it'll be like, oh, here's a problem to solve, and I'll be like, oh, if I make a Pegasus, I can fly over there, and then blah blah blah. But like the way it then works out, it's like, oh, I needed a red Pegasus or something. Like they're really locked in on how you have to solve the problem, and it's not like about imagination.
So I'm guessing you don't like those old click adventure games like Monkey Island and Day
That
of
one
the
I like.
Tentacle.
That was explained well enough, so I
Those
was able to. Yeah.
like how it's gonna work. Like there are only so many options.
Yeah.
Both of the problems he's described are with open
Yes.
option trees.
Like I'm not like playing
Where you
Pac-Man.
can
Like,
go
boy,
anywhere.
these walls are stupid. Like that's the game. That's fine. But yeah, when they're like, you can do anything your imagination wants, and immediately I'm like, can I do this? And they're like, no. Sorry, that's not how this works. I'm like, oh. So I was coming up with really interesting ways to do stuff in Scribblenauts, and then it was like, I don't know. To make milk, you don't, I forget what it was.
I was always
exactly.
bummed out by like there was just a few things that were kind of overpowered, like a jetpack.
Yep, that was also a problem.
And you're like, well, I could solve it. And then they sort of, there were things where it was obvious that they tried to make it so you couldn't use the jetpack, but it was still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the physics
Kind
are a
of.
little weird in that too. That's why I said Pegasus, because after a while also I was just like, well, let's solve this with a Pegasus. Let's solve this with a Pegasus. And whatever I was doing, it would somehow work out. It'd be like, my hat is stuck in that tree way up there. And that branch is a little flimsy, and that guy has a big fan. What do you think? As a Pegasus. And then I was able to fly up and grab the hat. It was just like, oh. This isn't the game I thought it was going to be.
Well, in that case, I mean, if you the only way to stop that is to stop you from spawning a Pegasus, which would be boring.
Yeah. But there are ways to do open world, like this game. There's ways to do it where for some reason it works.
Also, Scribblenauts has like these multiple completion challenges.
Or what?
You
do
know about
different
that,
ways
right?
and
Where
stuff.
you go back and you're like, all right, we'll complete this without weapons, or complete
Yeah.
this with fewer than 2 items or something.
Yes, that's
Obviously, Pegasus is fewer than 2, but I'm just saying there are is replayability a little bit there.
But the physics were pretty wonky too. That was starting to get to me.
I never thought that I never kind of found that
What
to
are
be
you
the
playing
point.
it on?
DS.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I tried and sponsor.
I haven't played it in a little while. It's not like I'm an aficionado. But the physics, like, I understood that it was a cartoon type game and that the physics weren't the point, so that did not.
Well, they're at the point where they expect you to fly across like a cavern. Then you kind of need, decent physics. That makes sense.
I kind of assumed that cavern thing was the one I think that kind of broke me because I was trying to get across it and like stuff kept not working, and I was just like, I want to build a bridge, and you type bridge, and it's like this little dinky thing that doesn't get anywhere near halfway across, and you're like, well, that's stupid. You just try to like keep thinking of things that are big enough to like fit across that gap, and then, but you can't, like, you have to carry something with you, so like the jetpack doesn't work because it's too heavy. I don't know. It was annoying.
And then you can,
I could have looked it up. There's solve things on YouTube. Although I would kind of like to know like how many different ways there are to solve a problem in that game.
There should be infinite, and then there should be
I don't know about
the
infinite.
special challenges. I think you should.
Infinite's a big number.
Yeah, you should get credit. It should be like, well, you use
Infinite
Pegasus 10 times, you don't get as much as a bonus, but you're still solving the problem. It was you had to solve the problem their way, and that never seems to work well. What do you think about problems, Tony?
I think there are problems.
Games are never gonna get like real life, where you can have the complexity of problems. Whoa. The complexity of problem along with
The amount of solutions.
yeah.
Every solution has to be programmed in, so it's always going to be an issue of that. Although I think that eventually you're going to see some games that get pretty clever with it.
Well, I mean, Dwarf Fortress has a really, is really great to an extent with how you can solve problems.
Yeah, you just have to do it.
That's
whenever you
very.
want.
But I mean, that gets us back around to what we were talking about, where you had a problem with adventure mode, and thinking about it in the wrong way.
That was more about the map. I couldn't see well, and it's just my brain was not.
The map is a little bit janky.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Once you-
It wasn't
I mean,
what I
it
thought
doesn't-
it was going to be. I had to learn a whole bunch of new symbols and stuff, and I think I was just like, I don't know.
You have to learn new keystrokes too. That's it doesn't take as long as you think, but like once you have K, it's neat that K is sort of your look at option because that's probably the option that you use most is to talk to people. It's your K option. So I don't know. I'm kind of having fun with it. I'm looking forward to being knowing more about it.
Like that version of the game.
I think I might like it a little bit more than Forts. I'm gonna say
Really? That's interesting.
Maybe I should try adventure mode.
because it's just walking around and like getting into fights with stuff. Now there's still Dwarf Fortress fights, so it's like you have to hit A for attack every time you attack, and then you're like, all right, choose your attack, and you're like, strike him in the,
Knee.
like all of his body parts.
Always in
You
the
get-
groin.
I don't know if groin is an option. Upper body, lower body, leg, foot, head. I usually go for the head or the neck.
Groin.
Is there a groin option?
I don't know, but you should always go for the groin.
There's a groin option Fallout.
And,
I know there is, Tony. But,
Did you talk about that? Oh, was that on the podcast?
I
don't
think you
know.
and I were just talking about that on the stream, about how, like, for some
Yeah.
reason, I'm just always, like, without VATS even, just straight up shooting people in the groin, like, over and over and over again. Like, just straight up nut shots, like, all day. And I don't know why. It just happens.
There's something very funny about that.
It's like just
What?
splattered grapes everywhere.
okay.
Wow, that one's a little. That Rich's rug ad is a little racy.
What does that one say?
Involves the big deck.
Ah.
Do
I don't
need to
even
blur
know.
it out?
No, it's not that bad. I'm just joking.
I don't know if he actually wrote that one or if Geek Girl Goes did that one. She just likes the richest runs.
So it's gone viral.
Inspiring loyalty.
He's made a viral campaign with user engagement. It's through the roof. Oh my god, that's hilarious! Wow, there's a lot of stuff in here. This has John Jones written all over it. There's a lot of stuff here. Holy cow! Like full stacks of cubes of stuff.
I need to find a vampire
Yes.
in Dwarf Fortress.
Um,
Vampires are pretty OP in that game.
I'm hearing is you need to do a stream of adventure mode.
Well, I'm not great. It's like there's a lot of walking.
I didn't say
and just
instantly
waiting.
now and that we'd shoot you if we did poor job. I'm saying this seems like something you're growing towards.
Like the thing I'm trying to like, it is fun, but the thing I'm trying to sort of like to be able to do it as a product, as I'm trying to get around is
Some of the slower.
all the in between stuff, like cutting out as much of that as possible because there's a ton of walking in that game.
Maybe bring me or Tony on. I mean, there's definitely slow parts in Fortress mode, but you know, you have a
That's true.
co-pilot.
Well,
You
I
also got to
don't
keep in
wanna-
mind we did a fishing simulator,
Yes.
so like people who watch streams are actually just kind of like they're into the slow burn.
They can. It could be good. That's not an exclusivity to greatness.
Currently, my favorite thing to do in that game is jumping. You climb up a tree. I did this twice now. You climb up a tree, and like I don't know, like you get up there and then you can't get down. I don't know if that's a game mechanic or if I'm just dumb. But it would be kind of funny if it was actually a mechanic of the game. I crossed the river that way, where there was this river in my way, and I was like, I don't know how to get around. And I didn't like want to go looking for a bridge, so there was a tree right next to the river. I climbed up it, like went, whoa! Oh no!
You went, whoa, oh no?
A zombie with a flaming sword just attacked me.
That's awesome.
He hit me
Not
with a
that,
flaming
the
sword.
throwing snowballs. That's really cool. Sorry, I was throwing snowballs while you were dying.
Oh, okay.
It happens.
But you get up to the top of the tree, and then I like hurled myself. Oh. Sorry.
Story time on
Creeper.
Dirt Block.
Hurled myself away from the tree, like I jumped, and then like as you're again because it's Dwarf Fortress, you're flying through the air, but it's like stop point by point, and as you fly past things, it's like grab oak branch, grab as you're doing it, and you can try to slow yourself down, and then eventually I slammed into a tree trunk. Jumped pretty far. The current world that I'm playing in, one of the default embark options is I can play as a Mothman. That means I can fly.
Isn't that? Oh, though the animal people spawn procedurally, right? That's the
I
deal
think
now?
so, yeah.
Is it like
it
Richard
can-
Gere Mothman or like
No, I am the way Dwarf Fortress is, it's just like any animal can also have man. So like the chinchilla man that I was telling you about.
yeah?
It just sort of, I don't know exactly how it.
I think when
deals
the
with
world, when you
physical
generate the world, it
traits.
just randomly picks animals that can have. I think.
Like I got attacked by a were-sheep one time.
Be the worst
Yes.
power ever.
Where sheep?
But
When the full moon comes, I just go and graze in a field.
But because
Kinda nice.
you are a moth, you can fly as a Mothman. So like the other characters will sort of go over a hill, and then when they get to the other side of the hill, they'll go down. Like the Mothman goes over the hill, and then you just like if you step off of the top of the hill, you're just rolling through the air now. It's pretty awesome.
Who made this cube in the middle here?
I usually make whenever I get an 8 stacks of 64, I'll make a cube like that.
Oh, I see.
I'd say Dwarf Fortress: The Adventure Mode is probably the closest thing to a computer game that could simulate D&D.
Well,
Like
you can't have a
the
group
sort of- What?
currently. You can't have
No, but you can have you
co-op.
can have a group follow you.
Yes, but that's one player D&D. You would need like WoW. Well, WoW was
I'm saying no, but that's the limitation of D&D. Like let's say I wanted to play D&D, but I couldn't get other people
oh
with me. Like this is a computer game that puts all of the sort of wild varieties of possibilities in a world into
yes, where you can always just be like, no, I don't do that. I want to do this.
right.
Yeah.
I want to hurl myself out of a tree to get over the river.
it's not going to be like that. Is not allowed. This brings us back to the whole. What makes a good game? If you can do anything, or if the rules are set well, it teaches you the environment and then sticks with it. I think is probably the best. Sorry, Red Dead Redemption kind of bummed me out because a weird job of like bringing in new gun skills that had nothing to do with the old gun skills. I was like, I just learned the other way. Why am I doing it this way now? And it was like, because we've got to this point in the story. And I was like, what? That makes no sense. What are you doing?
The gun skills were like story based.
Well, you know, as you got to a certain point in the story, it would be like, now you've unlocked like paint mode, and it was just the dynamic, like the mechanic was really different from the mode you had just learned how to shoot, and it kind of baffled me. It really threw me. And then there was a third mode that you unlocked when you sort of got to the Act 3 of the story. And it wasn't like you could use one or the other. It was like, oh, you can use this for certain circumstances. You might want to try this. It was like, now here's how you shoot. I was like, I just spent an hour, 8 hours learning how to shoot.
Oh, okay. That sounds dumb then.
I honestly, it's to the point where I think I might have misunderstood what was going on. Because that did sound dumb.
Yeah, I beat that game and I have no idea what you're talking about.
Wait, all of a sudden you could like paint your target and, well, what did you play it on?
PS3.
It was only on PS3, right? That's right.
I think it was on PC as well.
I'm sure there's probably
is
almost
not on-
everything.
I'm pretty sure. No, that's on all consoles.
Nope, it is not ported to the PC.
It is on Xbox 360 though.
That might be true. Yeah, because they played it on our competitors' video thing. The people
Who shall not be named. Not at all because Joe forgot who they were.
Absolutely, that was more of a. That's a
We just don't want to give them any free advertising.
Rule. Yes, do not mention the name of the people who I can't remember. I'm gonna look that up.
It's
Probably-
Rooster Teeth, Joe.
Not that, the shooting mechanics.
Oh, that's not that funny.
Now cracks himself
I've
up.
amused myself.
Yes. Watching The Sims. What were you laughing at? I was on there for quite a while, and I was actually watching some today, and I remember you chuckling at yourself, and now I can't remember what it was. It was like after you gotten over because you were like, am I streaming or not? And then it eventually hit something, and you just started dying. I couldn't stop laughing. The ghost came back, which apparently only happens when I'm on. I think I'm in like the timing so that whenever the ghost appears when I'm on. So Horror and the original wife were running around the house, and they haunted the dragon statue and one of those panda bear lamps, and they both were bobbing up and down in the air next to each other. I couldn't stop laughing.
For a second there, I was suffocating. That was scary.
Oh, I thought you meant for real.
No.
It's like, it wasn't that funny, Tony.
Gunshots, gun
Truer words.
controls. Red Dead Redemption was also odd in that it came around. There wasn't really like a manual. They sort of expected you to go online, but things hadn't quite spread to the point where you could easily surf on your couch from your phone. It was this weird dead spot for me where I couldn't.
Didn't teach you that well? Like, I don't know. My current sort of, I guess, reference point for anything like that is Tomb Raider. I'm playing the new one.
Mm-hmm.
I say I'm playing it. I haven't played it in a week because I haven't made time for it, but really good game. And like, I never feel the need to go and be like, how does this work again? It's all very sort of self-explanatory and...
Yeah, there are ways that... I mean, they did give you teaching things, but... certainly, I mean, the biggest thing of this is that I always talk about is Grand Theft Auto, where it's like, now that you're driving, here's how you, like, Tokyo drift while shooting out of the light, and it flashes, like, 8 buttons on the screen for 2 seconds, and you're like, what do I do? What? And then, obviously, you can look up the controls now, because, again, it's progressed that far, but Red Dead Redemption had confusing enough, complex enough controls that I kind of wanted to be able to look them over.
Yeah, I will say the controls on the shooting one, the bow and arrow, Tomb Raider, they're really, really good. The gameplay in that's delicious.
Did I? Well, let me see this. What am I looking
That's
at?
an interesting sort of thing too. Is like, okay, well, where do you put the buttons? Like, what's the best,
Yeah.
control configuration? It's something you just don't think about if it's done right. But me and Brantley played a game a while back that was a port of a PC game. It was, I think it used the PlayStation controller, but it used the symbol buttons as forward and back, like strafe.
Right.
Is that so? Like, if you wanted to move, it didn't use arrow keys. It didn't have like the 2 thumbsticks. It used those symbol buttons to get you around. It was so confusing.
That's really weird. It's like everybody knows that like the one joystick moves you around, the other moves the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And like when games,
Well, everybody knows that
now.
now. Somebody had to do it first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually
Somebody had
looked
to
up
do it
a
first and
review
be
for
like-
the first, or or I saw this the other day. It was some first-person shooter. I want to say like a Soldier of Fortune or something like that. And they're like, this game is going to be a complete flop because they didn't know what they were doing. This controls the camera. This controls your movement. How is that even playable? That's like the first reviews for the game. Like, it established it.
That's pretty funny.
Well, apparently, I mean, it's interesting that it didn't seem like it worked for those guys. You know, the reviewers are like, I'm so confused. I don't know if that is actually better or if it just has to be in enough games where everybody understands it. Or if there's some kind of middle ground where it is better and also... I don't know.
I think that it's better. Because GoldenEye was a little... I guess you couldn't move. No, GoldenEye was purely
There was a whole
thumbstick.
long time when the game, you couldn't even jump.
You had to like hold one of the top buttons to be able to aim upwards, and that's why when people chose Oddjob in GoldenEye, it was just such a cheap thing because he was just a little too short to be targeted normally.
Yes. You had to choose... Yeah, you had to hold down a button to move your... In order to turn it into a camera aim. Otherwise, it was just walk. And the thumb buttons were straight. So GoldenEye was a little different. It definitely worked for GoldenEye, though.
I was gonna say, people talk about that game to this day as having great gameplay.
Yes.
I think I might have actually played it a couple times, like on other people's Xboxes way back in the day, but it made not enough of an impression on me. It was one of those things where like they knew how to play it, and I was like, what am I doing?
Learning curve is very real there, or not. Again, I can't use that phrase ever again in front of
I'm
Everett, but
sorry.
it is a thing that exists in that game in some manner. Whether it is shallow or steep, I don't know anymore, because...
Who went and got more slime?
Who? What?
The slime landing pad is giant now.
It was 3x1 last time I saw.
Like, this Let's Play?
Yeah.
That's what I saw earlier.
It has been expanded.
Rich
I
might be
think
doing
Rich
a
is
little...
going to be messing with us right now.
Yeah. I also think so.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, he's really messing with us.
Is it not slime? Is it like green wool or something?
You'll fall for our low prices. It's green roll. Rich's Rugs. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's just green wool. It's not slime. That's just, oh my god.
Can you tell from up there?
I don't. Well, I was prepped going in. I don't know if first time around if I would have been. I think so. They look different. I think I could have
from away from the block, it looked the same. But that'll be it for this week's episode of the Dirt Block, ladies and gentlemen.
See you guys
Thank
next
you for
week.
watching. Bye, Rich's Rugs. Like and subscribe.
Also, follow Rich Alex on Twitter. It's RICHALIX. He's an awesome guy.
all these sides.
Yes.
Oh, thanks for watching, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Tony, you should jump down here and look at all this.